Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the German state of Saarland. It's a small region right on the border with France and Luxembourg, and it's become ground zero for a complex war. This war is being fought on two totally different fronts. One with police raids smashing organized crime, and the other with outreach teams trying to save the people caught in the crossfire of addiction. And make no mistake, this is serious. Being so close to its neighbors has basically turned Saarland into a key battleground for drug traffickers. In response, police are hitting back hard. They're launching these major operations that are making headlines and showing everyone just how high the stakes have really gotten. Okay, so just how big is this fight? Well, let's look at the numbers. In just one recent raid, targeting a single drug gang near the city of Saarbrücken, police arrested 12 people. But it's what they're finding that's truly staggering.
I mean, get this. In a completely separate bust, investigators discovered 20 kilograms. That's more than 44 pounds of hashish just stashed away in one apartment. But that wasn't all,
Because in that very same apartment, they also pulled out 1,500 ecstasy tablets. You know, when you put these numbers together, you really start to get a stark picture of the sheer volume of drugs that are just flooding into this region.
So, this brings us to the first major front in this war. A really aggressive and determined law enforcement crackdown on the criminal networks that are fueling this entire crisis.
And look, these police raids are about so much more than just getting drugs off the street. They're about dismantling entire networks. They're targeting specific gangs. And they're not just finding drugs, they're confiscating firearms and huge sums of cash. They're hitting the traffickers right where it hurts, their bottom line. It's a direct assault on the organized crime that preys on the desperation of addiction. But, the fight isn't just about the amount of drugs, it's also about the type of drugs that are showing up. Health experts are getting particularly worried about the rise of synthetic drugs, which bring their own unique and, frankly, devastating dangers.
Let's just take methamphetamine. You might know it as crystal meth. It is a powerful man-made stimulant, and it's notoriously addictive. And the fact that it's getting more popular points to this really frightening demand for substances that don't just get you high, but that can destroy lives with terrifying speed.
And the human cost it's just brutal. One source describes the effects as fatal psychological consequences. We're talking severe paranoia, psychosis, and a rapid physical and mental Verfall. That's German for decline or collapse. It's a total and very fast breakdown of a person's entire well-being. Okay, but here's where the story takes a really interesting turn. A crackdown on crime is only half of it. While the police are fighting on one front, Saarland is pioneering a whole new wave of help on another, and it's just as important. And this slide right here really lays out the two sides of the coin. On one side, you have the crackdown, the raids, the arrests, the seizures, all aimed at organized crime. But on the other side, you've got the helping hand, mobile teams, therapy, and most importantly, human connection for people who are struggling. And this isn't just talk, it's real action. The city of Saarbrücken is sending mobile teams right into the drug hotspots. They're holding events like Psychiatry Day to better combine mental health and addiction services. The whole philosophy is shifting toward treating the entire person because they recognize that addiction and mental illness are so often tangled together. So, how does this mobile help actually work on the ground? Well, it's a pretty simple but powerful three-step process. First, the teams go directly to where the problem is, places like the main train station. Second, and this is key, they offer immediate, anonymous help. They meet people on their own terms, no judgment. And third, the ultimate goal is to build enough trust to motivate that person to get long-term therapy and support. It's about building a bridge from the street to recovery. So, we've seen the aggressive enforcement, and we've seen the compassionate outreach. What does all this add up to? What's the main takeaway from Saarland's pretty unique approach here? So, the big takeaway is this. A crisis this complex just can't be solved with one tool. It needs a dual strategy. You need the strong arm of the law to take apart the criminal networks, and you need the open hand of public health to offer a path to healing for those who are suffering. And at the very heart of that helping hand is this simple but incredibly powerful message from the support teams on the ground. It's aimed directly at anyone who might be struggling. It's a reminder that asking for help doesn't make you different and that you are not alone.
And this leaves us with a final massive question. Saarland is betting that this two-front war, this combination of enforcement and empathy, is the right way forward. But can this dual approach actually succeed where so many others have failed? It's a bold experiment for sure, and the world is watching.